8 signs that demonstrate how truly bizarre our society is becoming, Michael Snyder reports. In The Wizard of Oz, at one point, Dorothy tells her dog that she has a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. She had been dropped in a strange new world that was crazier than anything she had ever imagined, and needless to say, many of us feel the exact same way. We're not in the America that we grew up in anymore, and instead we now live in a country that appears to be a cross between a really bad science fiction movie and a freak show. Sadly, the pace of change has now reached an exponential rate, and things will get even more insane during the years that are ahead of us. The following are 8 signs that demonstrate how truly bizarre our society is becoming. Number 1, facial recognition technology is now being implemented on a widespread basis. For example, the official TSA website is openly admitting that the TSA is starting to use facial scanning technology at airports nationwide. It's been for years now, basically. Now, TSA introduced facial recognition technology into the screening process at selected airports. The facial recognition technology represents a significant security enhancement and improves traveler convenience. A traveler may voluntarily agree to use their face to verify their identity during the screening process by presenting their physical identification or passport. The facial recognition technology TSA helps ensure the person standing at the checkpoint is the same person pictured on the identification document, the ID credential. Photos are not stored or saved after a positive ID match has been made, except in a limited testing environment for evaluation of the effectiveness of the technology. The agency is using a second-generation credential authentication technology, CAT2, scanners as travelers enter the screening process. This technology assists transportation security officers, TSOs, in verifying the authenticity of a traveler's ID credentials, as well as their flight status and vetting status. TSOs must direct all passengers to their proper lane, either TSA pre-check, screening, standard screening, or enhanced screening. The CAT2 units are currently deployed at nearly 30 airports nationwide and will expand to more than 400 federalized airports over the coming years. Number 2, the elite want to make national borders meaningless, and that's quickly becoming the case. So many people from foreign countries have moved into the Twin Cities area in Minnesota that authorities are being forced to put up signs explaining that peeing, pooping, and other things are not allowed while riding public transportation. Peeing and pooping while riding the Metro Transit vehicles falls under the illegal category, according to the signs. Transit property is not a public restroom, the new rules read. And they also explain that to riders that sexual assault is illegal, and contact without consent is forbidden, the rule states. Number 3, do you remember Michael Cassidy? He was a guy that did something concerning the statue in Iowa, and now he's being charged with a hate crime. He's been charged with that crime for dismembering a statue of Satan at the Iowa Capitol. He drove up to Iowa after the satanic display was erected in the state capitol and took it down. He will be arraigned February 15. Polk County prosecutor charged Cassidy with felony third-degree criminal mischief, saying that he acted in violation of individual rights under Iowa's crime status and Des Moines Register reports. Number 4, in Montana, one family just had their 14-year-old daughter permanently taken away from them because they would not allow her to transition to a different gender. I'm not going to go into that. Now, Republican Governor Greg Gianford was confronted about this case, and he's actually defending the decision. Number 5, sticking with Montana, it's being reported that a bioagent superlab, quote unquote, in the state is doing experiments with Ebola, Lassa fever, Nipah, and even the plague. Distressing new images show animals being infected with deadly pathogens at a U.S. lab with ties to the Wuhan Institute of Virology of China. Photos and footage obtained by watchdog White Coat Waste show scientists at the Rocky Mountain Lab sedating monkeys and pigs and carrying out experiments with deadly viruses. White Coat Waste has described the lab as a bioagent superlab that infects animals with highly contagious and deadly diseases such as Ebola, Lassa fever, Nipah, and even the plague. Number 6. During a Senate hearing on Wednesday, Ted Cruz asked Mark Zuckerberg why Instagram users are given the option to see results anyway, quote unquote, when attempting to pull up images of improprieties with children. And he held a blow-up screenshot of an Instagram prompt asking users if they wanted to get the resources to see the results anyway. This is terrible. And the warning read, these results may contain, I'm not going to go into that, but that's, of course, unacceptable. Number 7, we've been warned for a long time that a cashless society is coming, but now we've reached a point where thousands of businesses all over the United States have already gone cashless. Aaron Bateman pulled out a few $20 bills to pay for a taco lunch in the nation's capital. To his surprise, his money was no good in the city where money is printed. Surfside, a popular 24-hour Mexican eatery, does not take cash. No cash means no register for robbers to empty out, and no bills for workers to slip into their pockets, and no change counting holding up lines. The global cashless movement has reached Washington, where a growing number of fast casual and other establishments are saying no to greenbacks in favor of plastic and mobile payments. Sweet Green, the nation's salad chain, went cashless in most of its locations last year. Other cashless spots include a frozen yogurt shop downtown, a posh wine bar, and a beer store. Number 8, would you allow someone to put a computer chip in your head? Well, it is already starting to happen. This week we learned that the very first brain chip has been implanted in a human subject. Elon Musk announced that his company Neuralink implanted a brain chip in a human in a preliminary clinical study. If research studies continue to look promising, devices like these could one day be a game changer for people with limited motor function, experts told ABC News. Neuralink says its goal is to help people living with debilitating conditions, including paralysis, communicate and control external devices with their thoughts. The patient who receives the implant is recovering well, Musk said in a post on X Tuesday. What do all of these 8 things have in common? Each one of them shows that the agenda of the elite is rapidly advancing. We're living in a society where they are designing for their twisted purposes, and that represents their twisted values. The good news is that we live at a time when all of their plans and programs will soon be crashing down, and the elite will not succeed in creating the world that they so desperately desire, and evil will not triumph in the world in the end. This is reported by Michael Snyder. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos, available on paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish his articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and sharing his articles on your own social media accounts is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times that people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.